Hey guys, it's the preacher here, and I'm just sitting at the reloading bench, sizing and sorting a lot of brass. I bought some bulk Norma Tactical 223, 5.56, something or another. Anyways, I take that to the range. I let Coleman shoot a lot of it. It's not really accurate, but it helps him get used to shooting an AR-15. So when I bring it back, it's all got crimped primers. So I'm sorting all those out away from my other rounds. Deer season's over. The last youth season ended Sunday, January the 8th. Today's January the 13th. And so at the end of season, if you're anything like me and you hunt with 3 or 4 rifles, I have a 223 and a 243 that I coyote hunt with. When it comes to deer hunting, I like to use my 30-06, but Coleman uses a 243 and a 308. So you know my philosophy on loading ammo. I don't stockpile reloaded ammo. If I'm going to stockpile ammo, I'll do factory ammo. But what I am okay with is stockpiling components. Components don't go bad as long as you keep them dry, and as long as you keep them in relatively normal temperatures. So what I do is I load what I think I might use during the season. So 30-06, I loaded I think about 12 or 15 rounds. I have 8 left. And so what I'll do is I'll go through and gather up. I went through my hunting bag. I had some loose 308 in there. I had some loose 243 in there. I have my varmint hunting loads. I have a couple of 100 grain deer hunting loads for 243 left. I have a couple of different loads for 223, 5.56. I've condensed all these into boxes. So basically this is all the partial boxes that I reloaded to hunt in the 2016-17 season. So what I end up with, like 308, I have 9 rounds of 308 loaded. The question comes now, what do we do with these leftover partials? Some people would say, well, if you want 20 and you got 9 left, just reload 11 more and you're good for next year. I don't like to leave reloaded ammo laying around for a year or more. So to ensure that I don't carry ammo over to the following hunting season, I take all these pieces. I clean out my ashtray, the jacket of my hunting pocket, and the pocket in my hunting jacket, and I gather them all up. I condense them. I know what they are. I have them labeled. What I do is I start dropping all these into one box. And so I have about 7 different loads in here. I'm going to put the lid on this. These are all loaded to deer hunt with this year. Now, season's over. Everything's dead. Down in the bottoms and the cropland below my house, there's nothing growing except maybe a few patches of winter wheat. All the fields are low. Most of them have been plowed. All the hay pastures have been cut or grazed. I can see a long ways. Now is the time of year when I want to go do long range shooting. You may have a range where you can shoot 300 or 400 yards. I only have that available to me in the dead of winter. So my brother will come over and he'll bring his rifles and some of his leftover ammo. I'll bring every rifle I've got ammo for, and I will shoot until I've shot up all of these leftover hunting rounds, but I'll be shooting them in excess of 200 yards. 200, 300, 400, 450. We can shoot as far as 800 yards if we wanted to. But what does this do? Well, number one, it keeps me from carrying ammo over. When I go hunting and I have an opportunity, let's say at a buck of a lifetime, I don't want to be wondering if this ammo was loaded 3 years ago or if I change the overall length. I start every year with new brass and new ammo. This is for what I hunt with, and I just load enough to get me through that season. Whatever I carry over, this is how I get rid of it. So I clean out all of last year's ammo. Number 2, I get long range experience with my hunting rifles. In other words, I know what my 30-06 will do at 100 yards when I sight it in. I know what kind of groups I shoot at 100 yards. But I get confidence by shooting that rifle at 400, 500 yards. Now, you say, preacher, would you ever shoot a deer at 500? Probably not around here. Probably wouldn't. Probably wouldn't want to try that shot in hunting conditions. Not in Arkansas. But if I have confidence that I can hit a 5-gallon bucket at 500 yards, then I have a lot of confidence at 250 that I can really accurately and efficiently kill a deer. Plus, it helps me to learn how these bullets perform at longer distances. It helps me to understand how the wind affects bullets at longer distances. And I'm using the very loads I'll be hunting with the next year. So when I'm shooting a 223 at 500 yards and I got a slight wind, man, it could blow my bullet 6 or 8 feet. Switch over to a 30 caliber, it may blow your bullet maybe 2 or 3 feet. So the knowledge you get, the confidence you get, the fact that you've gotten rid of all your ammo and you've done it and you've learned a lot about yourself, your own shooting abilities, your rifle, and then you know in the dead of August, here in Arkansas it'll be 108, humidity will be about 90%. You won't want to go outside, you won't want to go fishing. You know what you'll want to do? You'll want to load up a box of 243 100 grains for deer. You'll want to load up a box of 150 grain 30-06. And so when it's hot, you're loading just months prior to deer season. I'll reload these loads, having confidence in how I can perform in them. That's how I get rid of all the partial pieces from year to year. There's nothing wrong with loading large amounts of ammo as long as you plan to shoot it. I have about 100 rounds of 5.56 laid out that I'm fixing to load, but I'll shoot those 100 rounds in the next month. Deer rounds, 308 deer rounds, 30-06 deer rounds, I only want to load what I plan on shooting in the next 6 months. And if I don't plan on shooting them anytime soon, there's no need to load them up and let them lay around. Because I'm going to be honest with you. The more that you reload ammo, the weaker the neck gets. And eventually your necks will split. Reloaded ammo that's in brass that's been fired 2 or 3 times, over time of setting, can split. So, you do what you want. But what I do at the end of the year, I take all those bits and pieces, 5, 6, 8, 10 rounds, and I see what I can do long range. So, that's how I get rid of last year's hunting ammo. Hope that gives you an idea of what to do with yours. If you don't live in cropland, in the wintertime when all the leaves are off the trees, you can go up a national forest, BLM land, find you a pipeline where it's going down a big ridge and up another, and shoot across that ridge with no leaves on the trees and the grass is falling down. It's midwinter. You can see a long ways. You can shoot a long ways safely, and then you'll know how your loads perform at long distances. So if your hunting season's over, why don't you, before it gets too hot and before you get the urge to go fishing, go shoot all those hunting loads and see how they perform at long distances. Hope that gives you some kind of idea, and maybe you share with me how you get rid of your leftover hunting ammo at the end of season. Thanks for watching.